In this module, you will learn about the global landscape in which women operate, which has hardly changed in 40 years, perhaps 60 years, about opportunities for raising the bar and growth, how women dig their trenches deeper and deeper and don't try and get out of them, how women have managed to reach the top and that we can learn from each other. So we will be examining statistics, figures from around the world in this first module. It is quite a long module. You're wondering why I'm going to be using so many statistics. There's a reason for that. The reason is, if nothing has changed in 50 years, why? I'm going to show you why, and then we're going to look at ways that we're going to change them. I've got some figures over here on global comparisons on board seats. Norway, as you see, has scored the highest for women, followed by Sweden, followed by Finland, interesting at that part of the globe, followed by Israel, and followed by the USA. Funny enough, South Africa, on the southern tip of the world, has got one of the highest levels of women's employment, but the women tend not to earn the same as the men. China is almost down to 1%. As you can see, South Africa is very high. Holland is very high. Denmark is very high. France, not too bad. And the UK is not too bad. Italy, women, 3.5%. Portugal, 2%. Chile, it's just over 1.5%. Japan, nearing 1%. An incredible first world developed country, industrial country like that. And women haven't entered the marketplace. Now we go to women on the main board. If you look at USA Fortune 500, it's very high. South Africa is very high. That has been produced because of legislation. Affirmative action legislation, has insisted that a certain number of women have to be employed because of business-to-business contracts. Unless that happens, businesses will not give businesses to other organizations. The UK, also relatively high. Canada, just over 60%. Australia and New Zealand, all comparatively high, but they're developed countries. But you can see New Zealand has already come down. This is a first world country, and it's a democracy. I will leave you to look at the statistics on management. You will see the number of women that are in management positions. All right, management is great, and you can do very well for yourself, but I'm saying, why settle for just management when you actually can go higher? Read those statistics on your own. Now we're going to examine the mentor factor. Do you know that most men who have achieved have had an informal mentor or a formal mentor, where someone has said to them, this is the way you do business, this is the shortcut from A to B. Sometimes they've approached the person and said, look, I need you to help me out with something because I don't understand the process. I need you to build my network and introduce me to somebody that you know. They freely and very cheekily, we call it chutzpah, will ask for direct leads into a broader business community. Women don't have mentors. 82% of women in the US seek mentors but can't find them due to a shortage in top positions. So it's not that we don't want mentors, it's that they just aren't there. And I actually feel if there's one thing I'm going to achieve out of this MBA program, it's that you are willing to become a mentor yourself to other women. Women are too scared to ask men for mentorship. We say, if you know women, why should we ask a man? They don't know the rules. They fear highly successful women. The rules of mentoring are unclear to them. The strategies are unclear to them. And 50% of the people that I've interviewed said, we don't know who to ask. Perhaps long before your time, there was a woman called Rosalind Miles, and she wrote a book called Women in Power. You probably will find it difficult. You can get it on Amazon. But this is a book that is really worth getting. It is inexpensive. Rosalind Miles makes a couple of points about why women have difficulty. And I'm going back many decades when I heard this woman speak. She said, it's choice. Women are powerless by choice. Women are invisible by choice. Women are operational by choice. Women are guilty by choice. Guilty if they work and guilty if they stay at home. Research has shown that children of women who work tend to produce children that are much more successful if they stay at home. One of the arguments is that we've got our neuroses, and for sure we're going to pass these over to our kids if we stay at home. Now, I know your argument is going to come up and say, well, there are women who do not stay at home, and yet they've produced dysfunctional children. That is true, and I will be dealing with it later on, because many of us are mothers, and we're going to look at dual careers, looking after a home and looking after the workplace. I love this quote from Einstein. I actually don't know if he really said this, but everywhere I've seen it and read about it, they have attributed the quote to Einstein. Here it is. Insanity is doing the same things over and over again, and each time expecting a different result. It's time we looked at the statistics I've just given you. It's time we stop blaming the mythical glass ceiling, and I'm going to hammer this home as well. I don't believe there's a glass ceiling. If you are in the wrong company where they do block your progress, move or invent your own business. We need to stop blaming men for our lack of success. Someone owns the problem. It's not men. You can change. You can grow. The question is, do you want to win, or do you want to be right? Life is about negotiation. Every day we're negotiating something. You're negotiating your way through the traffic. You're negotiating your way dealing with a difficult customer, perhaps. We don't realize we're negotiating, but negotiating is an art and a science. We don't go out of our way to learn the strategies of negotiating. In this life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. But it's a chicken and egg situation. What you have negotiated is what you deserve. So if you've got a dumb lifestyle, and if you seem to have exhausted all opportunities for going forward, you may have earned the problem. Only you are the problem and the solution. I'm going to teach you how to change it